Are you flipping the rage bait on me?
What is that existence? Responding to chuds. I love doing it. Let's go with the dog against the dogs. Alabama.
When I had a choice to pick a co-host.
I know.
Oh, you're betting on the game. Why would you be doing that? Because it's fun. Welcome back to Geek'd Up Bets. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson. Today's episode, we've got 2 more NFL previews coming your way. We also, that light is distracting the hell out of me. It's just every time we go live, it perfectly lines in the crack of the shade that we have.
Okay.
No, it's not that one. It's the big one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It'll go away eventually. We're also going to be sharing our PGA Championship predictions and picks as well. We're going to dish out 2 picks that we both like for top 10 finishes. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button and subscribe on the channel. We've been getting a lot of really interesting feedback, but a lot of good viewership off of the previews that we've done, the prediction content that we've done. Not everybody loves it because they think that we're being too harsh, but it seems like we've gotten a lot of people showing up to hear what we think about their teams. If you want to hear about your team, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out. Sean, how you doing?
I like when they use the names instead of guy on the right, guy on the left.
I'll never understand that. You put a note. You build
I got the name
overlay.
right there. The name is right there.
Yeah, let's pull up the screen and we can write it out. Joe or Sean, those ones usually work. Or I mean, at least the descriptors of a big bulbous head with facial hair, or
you get guy with glasses a lot.
Yeah.
I get fat a lot, which is fine. Like that's the elevator pitch for the show. Like people don't. Yeah, it's like the elevator pitch. Fat and glasses. That's it. But what else is it? I mean, that's at least how we boil it down to.
Sure.
I guess there's a lot of Saints fans that are passionate in the offseason. Congratulations, Saints fans.
I'm glad that they found you.
Yeah, they better hope They better hope I never find them.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. Yeah. I've actually started to get way more brazen in public. You know, I'm pretty anti-confrontational. I like to operate in the city, New York City, head down, mind my own business. I've started doing public thumbs downs to people wearing
while you're walking
2 types of gear: Saints gear, a hat or a shirt. I'll kind of give a little like hey, and then a quick thumbs down if they're wearing it, or Notre Dame gear. I've got 2.
You've hit guys with Notre Dame.
I've got 2 Notre Dame sweatshirt guys with the big thumbs down. Like, hey,
what did they react? How did they react?
You know, they make a stupid face and they move on because they know they're wearing
Saints fans
a dumb school.
In public in New York City,
not that many.
So you haven't caught any.
It's just with the hat. It's just I see a hat. I see a guy on the train with a hat. Hey, thumbs down. But I'm really flagging down the Notre Dame guys. There's way more people rocking Notre Dame gear.
Get your ass. Someone's gonna get you.
Fine, get me.
They're gonna get you.
But I'm not wearing a bad team gear. That's not me. That's not where I'm coming from.
All right. Today we're doing the Baltimore Ravens. We're doing the Buffalo Bills for our team previews. We're going to break down both these teams and then deliver a verdict on their win total on if we're going to go over or under. Sean, let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. Their win total is set at 11.5 for 2026. It feels awfully high. Before we get into their schedule, we got to decide, is this team better, worse, or are they the same after free agency and after the NFL draft? Some notable additions that they brought in. They drafted Vega Ione, the interior offensive lineman out of Penn State. It was regarded as a great pick, and I agree with that. They also selected Zion Young, the pass rusher from Missouri, Elijah Surratt, Jacoby Lane at wide receiver, tight end Matthew Hibner, cornerback Chandler Rivers. In free agency, they signed John Simpson, Calais Campbell, and Trey Hendrickson. They did lose Tyler Linderbaum, Isaiah Likely, Tremont Jones, Charlie Kohler, Loie Gilman, and also punter Jordan Stout. We know the core of players that are coming back. This is a team that no matter who is around him, as long as the supporting cast is good enough, Lamar Jackson is going to be able to do damage. So with all that, the table being set, do you think they got better, worse, or stayed the same?
They're worse. The Baltimore Ravens are worse going into this year. This is a team that benefits with speed and youth, and they did not get better, especially with their top 2 playmakers being Lamar Jackson, a year older, a year slower. Derrick Henry, a year older, a year slower. And I love Derrick Henry. I really do with all my heart. And people have been trying to call his drop off for years. And I found that totally offensive and disrespectful to how good of a running back he's been. But if we're doing better or worse, he's not going to be better a year older in the NFL. I'm sorry. Find me a running back that did get better a year after the NFL, especially at his size and physicality level. Also, Lamar, last year, we saw him develop into a guy who didn't escape every sack. He got sacked a lot from behind.
Well, if anything developed, it's a regression.
Yes. So if Lamar's getting a little bit slower, that means that his bag is not getting bigger or deeper. It's actually getting way more shallow, and he's going to have to rely on his arm way more. They did not get better naturally from that. Additionally, you get way worse going from Linderbaum to Danny Pinter being their center.
Corey Bullock is projected on our lads. I don't know if Danny Pinter. I don't know if there's a direct.
I got Danny Pinter from Mike Clay.
Okay.
That is a huge drop off.
Well, to this point though, is that you had Tyler Linderbaum, who was a Pro Bowl caliber center, because of the stupid operation with the 5th-year option. You couldn't work out a new deal with him. So the minute that you couldn't give him the 5th-year option, and it was going to be hard to try and work out a deal with him because you weren't going to franchise tag him for the same exact reason you couldn't give him the 5th-year option, because it would have been exorbitant for a center. So as long as somebody threw a ridiculous number on the table, he wasn't coming back.
Yep.
And that's what happened with the Raiders, that they were far more desperate for his services than you were. And I think it's to this point at center specifically. I didn't mean to derail what you were talking about. I don't think that there's very much clarity on who's the best available player to start at center for you. Maybe it is Pinter to what you got. I'm going off of what it says in our lads. I don't think either option is very good.
Yeah, no, it could be either. It's still a downgrade. Also, uniforms got worse for the Ravens. They're in worse looking uniforms.
You don't like those?
No, I don't like them. I do not like them. They look less menacing and they look less aggressive. The Baltimore Ravens had awesome, scary jerseys. When they ran out of the tunnel, you thought you were going to get hit. Now they're in these soft ass uniforms. They get worse in that regard. Also, I think that the Isaiah Likely factor on their offense was kind of huge last year. Looking back at some of the Baltimore Ravens games, he was getting targeted. They were drawing up plays for him, and his skill set as a tight end that wasn't just Mark Andrews, also getting slower. Also, what happened to his hands? Isaiah Likely was a very reliable option for them when they needed size on the inside or the outside. They better hope Elijah Surratt can like be that guy where he could go in and try to find a favorable matchup in the slot or something. This is a really weird operation that they're running. I mean, do we think Matt Hibner is going to be the solution?
Okay, so
if Hibner taking the top off,
I do actually. Hibner is quite athletic. He's quite explosive. He
was
one of the best testing tight ends at the NFL Combine. If there is, Likely wasn't an early draft pick, and they turned him into a really dynamic weapon as their tight end too. So there's a world that Hibner does turn into that, but for him to become that in year one, you're hoping for a rapid ascension from a young player that he just steps in and has a big impact. I think Surratt provided depth for you out wide. I think that he's a really good X receiver. That Rashad Bateman's been good. I was very high on Surratt, and I think that Surratt could potentially steal opportunities from him. If in 2 years we're talking about how Surratt made it easy to part ways with Rashad Bateman, it wouldn't surprise me, but still a rookie receiver who you didn't draft in the first round, expecting him to be more than a 300-400 yard receiver is high expectations. Here's my biggest bit is that there were a lot of losses with not only key players like Linderbaum, but also underrated players with Alohi Gilman losing. You mentioned Isaiah Likely. I think that Charlie Kohler was also a very underrated loss for you. You lost a lot of depth at a position that really defined what your team was. I think that their offensive line is going to be a lot steadier overall across the board when they brought in Vega Ione and when they signed John Simpson. But my biggest just overall question mark, I would say that they stayed the same. My biggest overall question mark is what the heck is this defense going to look like? We know that they've got the talent. We know that when they're at full strength with Nnamdi Madubuike, with Roquan Smith, Nate Wiggins was starting to show some signs of being really talented. Kyle Hamilton's arguably is the best safety in the NFL. He's an elite player.
He's very good. Overcame a lot. He did good.
Marlon Humphrey is a a frustrating individual, to say the least, and I think a lot of Ravens fans would agree with that. But I have this feeling, because there's a lot of parallels, easy parallels that can be drawn between Jesse Minter and Mike McDonald. I have this feeling that it is going to be a 2-year process before the defense really starts humming. Because as much as there was a lot of talent amongst the group, you're still going to need to find the right guys to play within the system. And I know that that's kind of a blanket, easy boilerplate answer where you just kind of throw it out there like, well, you need the right guys to play with. It's a BS thing to say. But McDonald, as great of a coach as he was, that immediately year 2, they won a Super Bowl. There were still a lot of headaches and frustrations for a young up-and-coming coach that was trying to work through building his team's culture. I think that the same thing is going to apply here. Now, the big bit that's the benefit for the Ravens compared to the Seahawks is that you already have your settled sitting quarterback. We know who Lamar Jackson is. I think that you're going to be able to protect him better than a year ago. So the concerns of him not being as crazy, slippery, and explosive, and him needing to learn, and he's done a good job of learning to win from the pocket.
Agreed.
He's not going to be able to get away from everything. I think for the other part for me, the other question that I bring up aside from defensively, you brought up with Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry ends up being a shell of himself, running back drop-offs are like a cliff. That's the problem with this. As much as it sounds like you're being a hater with Derrick Henry, he has been an unreal player that has defied what running backs are supposed to be able to do, especially with his physical running style. But is that immediate just collapse, drop off? Is that going to happen this year? Is that going to happen 2 years from now? Is he going to be a guy that somehow plays until 40, like something ridiculous like that? It's going to be that Pandora's box where you're just waiting for whatever crazy outcome comes out of it.
Right. He had 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. I mean, no disrespect to him. And I wouldn't even categorize it as like a fall off if he goes to 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns.
No, I wouldn't say that is.
But that 400 yards and extra 6 touchdowns, I think determines their win total. Like that's where I'm at with him. He's so important to the offense. Him being good and catching fire and having these monster games is so massive for them. They have to be able to find a way to keep doing it. You get your offensive lineman, or your offensive line is at best a little bit worse. I think I have very high expectations for Ione.
Yeah,
but guard to center, different. You know, I'd rather have a weak guard spot than a weak center spot.
It's a fair
point for a lot of things in the operation of the offense. Like there's enough things my gut is telling me that is saying don't jump all in on it. I can't be all in on the Ravens this year. I won't be. I think that they're going to be fine, and they benefit a lot from the AFC North being really weird and really bad at quarterback for 2 of their teams, and 2 possibly totally inept offenses.
Well, so as much as I agree with that, I do think that the Ravens should fall into the bucket of team that has a lot still to prove. As much as we keep talking about the AFC North having, there's no defined best team right now. And I think that we're not going to know, and this is going to sound kind of like a cop-out, we're not going to know who the legit best team in this division is until like week 10.
They make it they slow play it. They make it really difficult.
But it's even shakier than it's been in the past because there has been aggressiveness by 2 of the teams. I don't know what the hell the Steelers were doing this offseason, and the Browns and the Browns. The Ravens and the Bengals aggressively went after addressing their biggest problems this offseason. And it's very boom or bust. I think it's very, very boom or bust for the outcomes for both of these teams. I want to dig into their schedule and read off their schedule. We don't have their schedule yet because we're taping this the Tuesday of the schedule release. We'll eventually have those in these previews. But these are their opponents. Their over-under is set at 11.5, over at 105, under at -135. So the books are telling you that they kind of think that this is going to go under 11.5 wins. Home opponents include the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Jaguars, Titans, Saints, Bucks, Chargers. Away is Bengals, Browns, Steelers, Texans, Colts, Falcons, Panthers, Bills, Cowboys. The one thing that's really ass about this schedule is what's the asterisk? Those are neutral site games?
No, those are floater games. The non-division.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started writing stuff.
I gotcha.
You shouldn't do that. I'm like,
Joe Burgundy.
Seriously,
stay on track.
Like putting a squirrel on the TV. What do you expect me to do? Hey, what is that? What's going on over there? Putting stuff down in the notes while I'm reading off of it. What is wrong with you?
It's literally
you doing a show with me for how long?
The most minute adjustment that I could.
8 years?
Do I need to put something?
8 years. We've been doing shows together.
Oh, has it been 8?
We were 20 when we started.
Oh my god.
No, maybe younger than that. No. 20 when we started. Okay. Here, what I was gonna say is it's a really bad draw that all of your away opponents, most of your away, like tough matchups, ended up coming on the road. So playing the Texans on the road, winning on the road and at home is not as deep of an issue as it is in college football compared to the NFL, but it still does weigh into things. But getting the Texans on the road, getting the Panthers on the road, getting the Bills on the road, getting the Cowboys on the road, those are tough games that to me are toss-ups. Having the easy gimmies, which are the games that you should ideally win.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in the NFL, but the games that you shouldn't really have much problem with, Jaguars, Titans, Saints, and you really should beat the Bucks. Having those games at home, it's almost a bit of a waste there.
Right. Yeah. Good luck, Baltimore. It gets medium loud in Atlanta. You guys are going to be moderately unsettled.
Wang Chung 405. Seattle, we're doing doing much. We're going in alphabetical order, by the way. But if for anyone who hasn't tracked it, we've done that in the first four. We're going in alphabetical order. If we're trying to pick games here, I think that you're probably going to split with the Steelers, no matter what year it is.
Yeah,
they're going to split with the Steelers. You're probably going to split with the Bengals, and you can beat the Browns twice. So that gets us 4 wins.
Yeah,
it gets us 4 wins. God, I'm awful at math. If we sweep those easy games at home, it gets us to 7.
Yeah.
If you, or I got to include the Bucks game, that's 4. That's 8 games. What do we think that they can do against the Chargers?
Oh, I would.
We got to find 3 games in here somewhere.
Okay, the 3 games that they pick up.
4 games in here. Sorry.
4 games they pick up. They pick up the Colts away. That's a win for Baltimore. They beat the snot out of Atlanta and likely end their season. That's another win.
So we need 2 more.
They beat Dallas, I think.
But when we're trying to when we're trying to determine a win total, it should be games that we feel matter of fact, unless they completely bungle it and have a terrible week of preparation, they should probably win it.
I think it's a matter of fact against the Cowboys.
Really?
I think that they will just still run all over them.
That's a crazy comment from Brandon Holman. I can't read that one. Is that what they call?
That is not. But
is that what they call the Ravens?
That is one I will take to the group chat immediately. All of these dumb Ravens fans that I know. And I've been very nice about the Ravens. You know, I don't have like my big Ravens beef on this show, but they are my root against team this season because their fans are dumb and nasty to me. So
why do you say
they started it with me this year?
So we do these previews because we're trying to target fan bases to watch it. One thing that I learned doing a lot of team previews on Ruffino and Joe is I don't directly call fan bases. What did you say?
They are dumb and nasty to me.
Okay,
that's what they. And I bet if they get to this point in the video, they will start being nasty to me. That is the situation.
Sean,
with
you mean
Sean, the guy with the glasses, the guy with the buddy on the left with the green shirt. Go ahead, get him.
I think that with some of these contingencies, for not knowing how the Chargers game, the Bills game, the Cowboys game, the Panthers game are going to go, and also assuming that you split with the
the Jaguars.
We didn't narrow. It's just so freaking narrow. 12 wins feels like such
who bets on 12 wins if they're not a juggernaut? It's not narrow to me.
I
go under.
Unless you're a gimme wins schedule.
Under. I go under. The Ravens, I understand they have the AFC South and the NFC South. You can run all over the NFC South. There's 2 skell teams in the AFC South. The Jaguars, I think, are still very beatable there. But the Ravens are not of the caliber of team right now for me to say that's 12 wins. Like that's an auto 12 wins. That a 12-win bet is reserved for when Philly was super dominant, when Mahomes was rolling. I would have put a 12-win season over in the Patriots' heyday. not for the 2026 Ravens. That's where I punch out. That's where I say,
right,
I'll take the under and let the math fall. All right. They could come out 7. I'm just not doing it.
Them getting the AFC South draw is the one thing that's making me think, and the NFC South draw. They got arguably the 2 weakest divisions in the NFL.
Yeah,
and I don't.
But their floaters are 3 possible losses: Chargers, Bills, Cowboys. Those are tough games for them. Those are tough games.
But we're talking about. Yeah. I'm gonna lean towards under as well, because I think even for some of these games that do feel like gimmies, there are chances for some of the, just like theoretically, the Colts could end up still being really good defensively and stealing that game from you. The Falcons, as bad as we kind of project that they might be this upcoming year, and they're going to have a lot of headaches, they still have potential to shock a Ravens team.
They have playmakers. If they want to do it, if they want to play the game that they played against the Rams on Monday Night Football, they could do that on any team. But it depends on if they're eliminated from playoff contention by then or not.
And the same thing I think applies for the Jaguars, for the Saints, and maybe even the Titans, and as well as the Bucs. These aren't just like straight up easy gimme games. Let's bump over to the Buffalo Bills. Sean, the Buffalo Bills win total is set at 10.5 wins. But I would argue that the Bills have even more question marks than the Ravens. They drafted Skylar Bell, wide receiver from UConn, Jude Bowery, offensive lineman from Boston College, edge rusher TJ Parker, linebacker Caleb Elarms, or defensive back Jalen Kilgore, and corner Davison Igbinosun. Free agents or offseason additions, they traded for DJ Moore. They signed pass rusher Bradley Chubb. They also added safety CJ Gardner-Johnson and defensive back D. Alford.
Yeah.
No real upsetting losses that you look at and think, oh man, that's a real tough loss for you. I don't think that they really lost much. Having the returning core that we know and expect to be reliable with Josh Allen and James Cook, that is what is going to carry you, as we always talk about with the Buffalo Bills. Here's my one thing, though. How much better did they get? Did they get better at all, or did they stay the same? I think that they stayed the same.
I could see that. I would almost vote stay the same, because I thought Sean McDermott not coaching the team was a bit of a loss. And then you would go with Brady to be the head coach. All right. That's a little concerning. I think they still got better. Like the DJ Moore situation, I know he never became the top flight wide receiver that a lot of people thought he would be. They get better by adding him to their wide receiver core. They needed it desperately. But you add Bradley Chubb to your team, you get better. And then I know he irritates a lot of people, but adding CJ Gardner-Johnson, there's games every year where I'm watching, and he makes a huge play. He gets in a wide receiver's head. He does something where I'm like, man, I know he goes from team to team, but he is an impact safety. He's a good player to have on your team. I think the Bills needed him. At the draft, okay, like these are a bunch of guys that real draft guys would know. A lot of them are real draft. I'm not watching TJ Parker film. I'm not. So hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's a big, strong defensive end.
He's very raw, and I think that looking at their projected depth chart, he's probably going to be more rotational in year one, because their defensive core is really good. That's the thing. At the end of the day, their defensive core that they brought back is very, very good. They didn't really need to do anything. They're bringing back a really good defensive line. Their linebacker room is maybe one of the weaker position groups they have. Their secondary is pretty good. You shouldn't have any qualms or concerns about what they're doing defensively. It all comes down to how improved is their weaponry. The only major move that you made was going and getting DJ Moore.
Yeah.
We praised it. We thought it was a good move. Gave up a lot to go and get him. It seems like it was a bit expensive for what a DJ Moore asking price probably should be. If you don't get a leap out of Keon Coleman, which constantly keeps getting projected, the rest of the receivers that they have are marginal, solid players. At the end of the day, they didn't make enough moves for me to feel like that their offense is going to change. Last season, they fired Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Normally, when you fire a head coach, you can look to and say, okay, well, their offense can improve because they've got a new scheme. They've got a new play caller. They've got a new coach that's going to lead a new direction. We're going to try this new vision. and it's going to help us. So with one decent addition with DJ Moore, you would think some sort of identity change would be the shift that this team needed. But no, you promoted Joe Brady, who I think is a great coach, but where did things get different? Was Sean McDermott like really holding back Joe Brady that much?
I didn't think so. It felt like a GM moment, except it's Josh Allen GM moment where
they act like that he had no involvement.
I think it's fine to have your quarterback involved with who the offensive coordinator should be if they mesh well. If he's got a great relationship with Joe Brady, I love it. Keep Joe Brady. I don't know. Joe Brady doesn't scream head coach to me though. And I think it's important because all we see in the NFL now is OC turnover. And it's starting to become pretty common that if you're a quarterback and you have a winning season, you're going to have a new offensive coordinator next year and you're going to have to learn a whole new system. Yeah. Whereas it didn't used to be like that. You used to have to wait years and years to have a job opening come up, and then an OC might leave. He might leave the opportunity to coach a good offense. Keeping Joe Brady's fine with me. I didn't think Sean McDermott was a detraction. Let's see if Joe Brady can manage the clock well, how he does in situations. Like if it feels like he's making smart decisions and not throwing the team off the rails, which I thought McDermott was pretty decent at. I thought he was pretty good at being the adult in the room for that team, where I thought it was a pretty respectable team. And at times, like, it wasn't Sean McDermott's fault that against Denver at the end of the first half in the playoffs, Josh Allen started running around and put the ball on the ground and gave Denver an extra 3 points before the half. Like, that wasn't Sean McDermott's fault. But I guess you had to get rid of somebody if you weren't making it onto the next round again.
This is why the whole thing like bugs the crap out of me of expecting that the Buffalo Bills are going to be transcendent this upcoming season. This is why the firing of McDermott was stupid. And I think a lot of people agree with us that it was a dumb decision to do it. You were as good as you were last year. Again, with the same damn play caller who's going to be calling plays, assuming nothing changes by the end of the season, the same damn play caller. You got as far as you did because McDermott has been a good locker room culture building coach for you. Your defensive identity stayed the same, and you've gotten a ton of value out of guys that are playing at a very, very high level. They play cohesively as a group. You don't have like that crazy elite alpha player in this defense. Everybody just plays at an above average enough of a level that it all meshes together really freaking well. The problem that we all brought up, that we all discussed, that everybody said against the Jaguars and when we watched him against the Broncos was, why doesn't he have more weapons?
What are you talking? They got Mecole Hardman. They brought him in.
Why doesn't Josh Allen have that alpha receiver? That was the whole talking point. It wasn't so much, oh, we need to go get more pieces here, here, and here, and here. Mm-hmm. Getting a DJ Moore is a nice auxiliary piece. He's a good receiver. They needed an A.J. Brown. They needed to get into the A.J. Brown sweepstakes. I'm assuming that they're not going to at this point.
They got one wide receiver 1/wide receiver 2. The rest is Joshua Palmer, Shakir, Tyrell Shavers.
I don't know if there's any way to save the Stephon Diggs relationship. He's not like an alpha receiver, but I don't know where that stands.
Why wouldn't they make a play on Juwan Jennings? Why wouldn't they do that?
Well, he's gone now.
He would have helped them. Yeah, I know.
But like that would have been a solid addition. I keep coming back to why not try and swing a trade for a higher end player? Why not trade up in the past draft to draft another wide receiver? Instead, you traded back and you took a developmental pass rusher. You didn't take a receiver early until you took Skylar Bell, who is multiple years away until he actually turns into the player that I think a lot of people are hoping for. That's why I can't get all the way bought in. I think the Bills are going to go to they're going to go to the playoffs and they're going to probably win playoff games. But I think we saw what their ceiling was last year. We're just going to hit it again.
Yeah, Joe Brady and that offense, they love a smaller wide receiver to catch screens and get 6 yards. They love that. They love throwing a contested slant to Khalil Shakir. It's every time it happens, I get up and I twitch and I'm infuriated because how is that the go-to? How are you throwing it to the 5'9" wide receiver who's being draped on the entire by a DB? Like I just cannot. I won't understand that. But he's, I guess, get your playmakers the ball in space type guy. Fine. I'm a let the quarterback make a good throw have a good route down the field, and then move the ball efficiently type guy. I hate when they chunk play it or not chunk play, where they just nickel and dime you down the field with guys that aren't built to do that. It's just too many smurf routes. It's too many screens. It doesn't feel like we're maxing out what this offense could be when you have a quarterback of Josh Allen's caliber who can throw it deep, and more importantly, throw it deep accurately. Send everybody down the field. Take the top off. Nobody does that. They have to do something. They have to rectify. It can't still be the same blueprint, because the Chiefs have picked up on it. The Broncos picked up on it. Mm-hmm. Every team in the AFC would know how to stop the Bills. Keep Josh Allen in the pocket. Cover up his weak-ass wide receivers.
Let's look at their upcoming opponents for 2026. Their win total is set at 10.5, over -130, under at +100. So it seems like there's a belief that from the books that they're leaning towards that them winning 11 games, which is totally plausible because you're playing in the AFCs. You get two gimme games with the Dolphins and the Jets being ass, unless you completely bomb a game that you're not supposed to, which is totally possible. The first-year head coach. Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. These are the home games. Chiefs, Chargers, Bears, Lions, Ravens. I would like to point out that getting the Chiefs at home, one, is strong, but also, once we know the schedule release on Thursday, is that an early season game? Which I would imagine they're probably not going to do that.
Yep.
Probably going to put that at the end of the season so that they can have Mahomes on the field, just knowing how the NFL is going to.
It'll be a Black Friday, you know, that situation where the whole nation gets watched, which I love, by the way. I'm great. That's great. Sure. Good for me.
Dolphins, these are away games. Dolphins, Jets, Patriots, Broncos, Packers, Raiders, Vikings, Texans, Rams. With the built-in free 4 wins, I think that we could talk ourselves into them working their way up to 11. Like, it just, as shaky as they might feel, I feel like they're reliable enough of a franchise with a star quarterback to win 11 games. There would need to be a lot of reliability, specifically defensively, that would collapse during this upcoming year. For me, looking at the schedule, looking at their opponents, to hit the under and to only win 10 games.
They would have to drop multiple weird ones, which the Bills don't really do. They don't do that. They roll over the Skells in their division. You get 4 wins between the Dolphins and the Jets, split with the Patriots. You got 5 wins. You can find 6 on year. They are that good. I'm not worried about the Bills winning a tough matchup. I think Josh Allen has proven himself as a quarterback to win tough matchups, to win games against good defenses even. He's been able to shoulder that load and actually make things happen. That's why we talk about him so well. That's why I talk about him highly, because when he goes up good teams like the Texans or the Vikings or the Packers, he's not going to just load up the back of his britches and say, oh, James Cook didn't help me out enough. He's not going to say that. He's going to get a win. He's going to make wins out of those games. Like, the Bears are a great team. We're both super high on the Bears this year. I have so much belief in them, but I think Josh Allen could play circles around Caleb Williams still if it comes down to a big game. If it comes down to the fourth quarter, I would live bet the Bills, and I would put a big one on it too, because I just think they're that team, and he's that dude where he can pull a win out of nowhere, even if you're down 3 with 5 minutes left. I want Josh Allen with the ball. That is a bettor's dream, is to have an over bet on this team. I like the over in theory, and I know it's a really nasty draw, AFC West, NFC North. There's 6 playoff teams between those 2 divisions that I could see with the Chiefs, Chargers, and the Broncos, and then the Packers, Bears, and Lions. Like, I could see that. I still think the Bills handle a lot of business, especially with the NFC North.
Yeah, I think it just, at the end of the day, when you have an elite quarterback like this, and I know that we were actually the margin here is so different for what we were talking about the Ravens and here with the Bills, because you have an easier division that you're playing in. And I think a lot of their upcoming matchups that they have, that Josh Allen is good enough to potentially bail them out. I mean, we're talking about winning 11 games. It just feels so much crazier to suggest that a team could win 12.
Yeah.
I know that we're talking about one game here. We're talking about just one game. Winning 12 puts you in a Super Bowl conversation. Winning 11
that's
games,
a 1 seed conversation.
Yeah, winning 11 games just means you win your division in most cases. They're a 10-7 Josh Allen led team feels off to me. I think that an 11-5 11-6 team, an 11-6 Baltimore Ravens team is far more plausible. If this was 11.5, I wouldn't take it though. Also, they got a good draw on the line, and I wonder if it ends up moving if enough people end up taking the over.
I like the over. I'll also talk myself into a Buffalo over because they have a home field advantage. Mm-hmm. The Lions, great team, great offense. What if they're playing the Lions in December? They play Detroit plays in a dome. You know, they're gonna have to go and play that cold. They're uncomfortable. The Chargers, they play in Los Angeles in a stadium. Go ahead, go be the Chargers and try to do that smash mouth football in Buffalo. You're gonna have a lot of guys shaking, a lot of guys uncomfortable. Bears, they play outside. Ravens, they play outside. They're kind of tough. But having those games and having an advantage like that, playing in the frozen freaking tundra, I like it. I always give the Bills more favorability in those situations.
All right, let's wrap up here with our PGA Championship picks. We're each going to give out 2 picks that we like for the PGA Championship for 2 golfers to finish in the top 10. Sean, my first pick, I'm surprised that you didn't try to mirror me here because you love your boy Ludwig.
Oh, this scumbag?
Oh, why do you hate him?
I'm out on him.
Why?
He hasn't done anything for me. Every time I picked him, he's been a jerk. And
what do you mean? I thought he hit for you the first time you picked him.
He didn't do nothing. Stunk.
All right, I'm taking Obear because he's been the epitome of consistency. His last 5, he was tied 5th, tied 21st, tied 4th, tied 8th. So we've got an established path here where he's been finishing in the top 10 pretty consistently, except for one outing. But one of the things that when I was digging into for the course that they're playing, a big emphasis on strokes gained, tee to green, and also approach proximity. I was trying to look for guys that were playing well recently, but also were in the upper categories of those 2 things. He is 7th in tee to green, strokes gained, and also 5th in approach strokes gained. So I think that you have a clear map here. The thing with Obear, he's like the perfect guy to bet on to be a top 10 finisher.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need him to win. He's not one of these guys that's like a winner of these big matchup, these big tournaments. I don't need him to. I just need him to finish in the top 10. Can we just get across the finish line, get into the top 10? He is the perfect guy of just doing enough and being the man. He's really up and coming and he looks really, really good. But hey, when the heck is he actually going to win something?
Yeah, he's got a gorgeous swing, and he will make shots that drop your jaw, that are just the touch, the spin, all of it. It sounds good when the ball comes off of his club, but then sometimes the camera goes off of him for a little bit, and you turn around and you go make a sandwich, you come back, and he's added 3 strokes, and you're like, what the hell happened, Ludwig? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you shafting me in broad daylight?
Okay.
My first pick here, Siwoo Kim, plus 430 to finish in the top 10. That's very nice value to me. I love that. And I'm officially part of we're officially deep enough into the golf season where it doesn't feel ridiculous to lean on how many times a golfer is finished in the top 10. Like I'm seeing numbers that would put a pattern and a habit out there where I'd say, okay, if you are tied for first for most top 10 finishes this year, I'd be comfortable betting on you to be in the top 10 this year. And that's what Siwoo Kim in this tournament. Siwoo Kim is 6 top 10 finishes this year. Finished tied for 8th in this tournament at Quail Hollow last year. I like the way that he's swinging it. I watched him this past weekend. He was okay, but I'm ready to see him uncork it. And the consistency that he's shown, the amount of finishes, that's enough for me. I'm good. Finish top 10. You keep on doing it, I'm happy with you.
My next pick is a little risky here. So Alex Fitzpatrick has been really hot lately, but he's to kind of green to these premier matchups. There was a big story not that long ago. I forget which tournament, it's escaping me which tournament, that he and his brother Matt Fitzpatrick, with the way that they were able to finish, him at plus 650 in the top 10. I really like the value for the fact that his last 5, he finished tied 6th. He has had back-to-back wins, finished tied 9th, and he finished tied 4th. So out of nowhere in his past 5, he has been unbelievably good. He's also 13th in tee to green and also 13th in approach proximity. I don't know if I'm just getting really amped up on a guy who has been the up-and-coming hot player to pay attention to, but to grab him at over 600 odds. I guess I normally we do these and we'll do like a long shot and then like a favorite. And I feel kind of ridiculous that I'm giving such a long shot play to finish in the top 10, but I'm intrigued. He has my attention.
You should be. Matt and Alex Fitzpatrick at the 2026 Zurich Classic of New Orleans. It's the PGA Tour's only team event. Now, is Matt the fat brother or is Matt the slender brother? There's one fat one.
Well, the one with the beard is Alex.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the one with the beard is the fat one. Okay,
yes.
All right, you're on biggins. Good luck, buddy. All right. I love it.
Who's the other pick?
My next pick, safe pick, one of the hottest golfers out right now. That's Cam or Cameron Young, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not going to call him Cameron. Cam Young plus 130, tied for the most top 10 finishes this season. Also, find a trend in my betting with 6. Him and Siwoo Kim absolutely killing it. He outright won 2 tournaments this year, and in the last 2 months, the Cadillac and the Players. So he's been striking it. I don't care about his performance last year in this tournament. He's a different golfer this year. Last year, it was like, I think it was July or August, Cam Young started popping up. It's like, whoa, this guy's kind of a stick. And now he's transitioned that into this season, finishing top 10 often, winning big ones. I'm like, okay, this works for me. Plus 130, deal. Safe option. Little riskier option. I'm going to take your options. Yeah. Well, I'm going to take plus 650. Get Ludwig out of here. Hey, I hope he does really well for you because he didn't do a thing for me. I hope he goes out there and wins it all. Go ahead. No, he's going to be great. Knocking down long putts. Good demeanor on the course.
Cameron Young has been really good so far this year. So I was debating putting in on him because
it's a little chalky.
It is a little chalky.
He's top 3 odds.
The real chalky bet, and I put this into a parlay. Taking Scotty at the current moment to finish top 10. Obviously, we talk about this all the time. It's insanely chalky, but now it's especially chalky because he keeps finishing in second. I would maybe throw down. I think I might. I've already put down a couple of bets. I might throw down for him to win because he's gotten back into his rhythm. He's been a little less messy with the way that he's been starting. I feel like we're starting to get normal Scotty again.
I think you get him top ahead plus 440 or plus 400 to win outright, and then minus 175 to finish top 10. Which is like if you want to build a 3 golfer parlay top 10, have Scotty in it. That's what I did. It takes
he was minus
all of it off of your shoulders.
I did a top 20. So I did Fitzpatrick, I did Ludwig, I did Rory, and I did Scotty. I think I had somebody else in there. I might have had Cantlay in there. But yeah, it's a little 300 out just to, spice it up a little bit.
Here's what I worry about. I don't know if these golf people are super dialed or if they're like too far up their own asses to like get out there. Like everyone's talking about how they hate Rahm in this tournament and they really don't like Jon Rahm in this one. That makes me want to take him. I don't know why. When I see enough people saying they think this guy's going to be a bust this weekend, I'm like, oh, you think so too? Okay. Are you Jon Rahm? Can you swing it like him? No. I don't know what the apprehension is on him because he would make a lot of sense as well for the way that he's been playing. Bryson's also easily brought up as a guy that everybody's against, but never again, man.
Million reasons to be against him. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for us on today's show. We're going to be back on Thursday. We are leaning towards likely going live at 8:30 Eastern time after the NFL schedule release. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk to you later.